What did I say?
Just introduce what we're doing.
Hi guys. I want you to sit next to me.
Alrighty. Let's see if we can do this without waking him up.
We did it.
We done. You did it.
Well, you helped me.
Shit. What are you doing? Okay. He's an angel.
He's an angel straight from heaven.
None of them have probably seen Raising Arizona. Have you even seen Raising Arizona?
Mm-mm.
Best Nicolas Cage movie by far. This is his schedule: eat, sleep, poop, eat, sleep, poop, sleep,
Cuddle.
eat, and a little bit of cuddles.
He's snoring. So we're here today to share our home birth experience.
I'm not even on this thing. Don't live. I'm just gonna be falling off this whole thing. We took hypnobirthing classes for for a couple months leading up to the birth itself. Prepared us very well, honestly. I think we did. I mean, we did a lot of preparation, so it made it that much easier.
So I wanted to have a home birth because I just wanted to be able to control the environment that my birth. Where are you going? So I wanted to have a home birth because I just wanted to be able to be comfortable in the environment that I was giving birth in.
We knew, I think, going into being pregnant, that we did not want to go to a hospital.
Yeah, I've always wanted to have a home birth.
There's nothing against hospitals. We just didn't want to leave our house.
I just feel like a birth doesn't have to be a problem. So I wanted to just be able to birth in a place where my body was comfortable and be able to experience it somewhere where it would be the easiest, in my opinion. I'm not saying going to the hospital is wrong or anything like that, but for me personally, just being at home was my preference and what made me the most comfortable. Yeah, I've always watched videos of home birth. I've read books about it and things like that. So
it was part of the class too. I was watching these births that were filmed beautifully, that looked so calm and relaxing. And
that was not my experience, but it could be yours.
There is a lot of perceptions and stigmas with pregnancy and with birth. That we realized even just telling our family we're doing a home birth or talking to friends about it, all sorts of different people have their own opinions on what a pregnancy should be or what a birth should be.
My midwife already was coming to our house every single week.
Doing checkups
and just
all sorts of stuff.
We already had that relationship that was built in my home, so having her, it just made the experience so much better.
We had a little team of 6 people. My mom was here, her mom was here.
And then I had a doula, and then my midwife, and my midwife's assistant.
And that was our team.
And I'm thankful for...
And a photographer, actually.
Oh, yes.
So, pretty packed house.
Yep. Well, it wouldn't be so packed, but our house is really little, so
I actually found myself sleeping in the bathtub for like 15 minutes at some point in between. Yeah, anyway. We wanted a water birth, and we probably spent, 12 hours in the tub?
Yep.
In and out, in and out, in and out. And it definitely worked. He definitely worked him down the birth canal in the tub, but he didn't want to come out in the tub. So we had to get on the ground. That's the type of stuff. You plan for every little detail exactly how you want it, and if certain things don't go your way, you gotta have a backup. So that's what we did, and having that made us feel super comfortable. And yeah, ultimately we just trusted our doula, our midwife, and every single person at the house. And
together. Oh.
We were late by a week and 6 days. Apparently you're just supposed to be done with pregnancy as soon as you turn 4 weeks.
Yeah, it is really crazy
Doesn't
how
make sense.
They just expect your body is making your child the way that it should be made.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, 40 weeks is fine, but then 40 weeks, 5 days, oh no.
Yeah, no, literally.
I was having a lot of Braxton Hicks, and...
Was that a burp or a poop?
That was a burp. I was having a lot of Braxton Hicks,
a lot of burps.
And I thought that I was going to go into labor early, but I think he was just getting himself situated inside of my body. So that kind of gave me a false hope.
But yeah, so here we are, 42 weeks and...
41 weeks, 5 days.
41 weeks and 5 days.
At 42 weeks, you're not allowed to give birth at home due to some stupid law. I mean...
A lot of weird laws.
Whatever.
So yeah, we were fully prepared to go to a birthing center / hospital the next day. Basically, we had 48 hours left. And sure enough, we started our 28-hour labor journey. We're doing everything because we were late and everyone made it seem like it was this problem. And of course, in the back of my mind, I'm just like, let him cook, let him do whatever it is he wants to do, let him come when he wants to come. 99% of the time, you're growing, the perfect size baby for you. So I had kind of envisioned that and tried to, get that energy into you because, yeah, as soon as 40 weeks passed, you were a little hectic.
My last straw that I did not want to pull, but I pulled, was to drink a castor oil smoothie. It helps kickstart labor. My mucus plug came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this happening? So I took a little bit more, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to see how my body reacts to it and everything like that.
And this whole time I'm on the phone with the midwife saying what's happening. She's having serious contractions, patterns are building. We're timing the time in between each one. She'd been having contractions, for months, but it started getting real serious though after that second dosage of castor oil, which was really your one full dose because you kind of halved that first one. So yeah, we were having contractions every 7 minutes, and they were pretty big.
They were getting extreme.
Like huge.
After 40 weeks, you have to make sure you have enough fluid and everything like that. So I was having contractions when we went to the doctor, and they were monitoring me. Having a contraction. Think so? I didn't even really feel them, but at this point I was having contractions where I couldn't talk, and usually I would talk to my midwife and I would be like joking like, oh, is he really gonna come? But this time I gave the phone to Nash, and I was like...
And usually that's a sign too, when she can't talk.
I was like, no thank you,
or
take this phone away.
Yeah, when you're in labor, talking on the phone talking in general isn't much of a thing, so that's how our midwife kind of knew it was serious when I was telling her what was happening. So she said, okay, I'll be there. And we'll get set up. Once her contractions kind of got to, 3 minutes apart?
I think so. I think 5 to 3 minutes.
Everyone was here, ready to go. Had the whole house set up, the bed set up, the couch set up, the room set up. When I say set up, I mean plastic under everything.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it was because you were just in labor. I'm going to need a new pair of knees after this video. Everything in the house is ready to go. Every room is ready, perfect, clean. Everything's set up so that we can just have him. Everyone can get the hell out and we can focus. And that was just the beginning of 28 hours of labor. She had barely eaten. I guess you don't eat much in labor, but she'd barely eaten. She'd been up for 36 hours straight, and her eyes were in the back of her head like the Undertaker from WWE. For 17 hours straight. She's just...
So when everybody got here, we didn't know. You can't predict when the child's
I
coming.
assumed a couple hours. we had talked about, man, we want a short labor. Let's try to make a 6 to 12 hour labor where we're trying to manifest whatever, you know. And we were doing this throughout our hypnobirthing classes, saying what we wanted from our birth, and one of the things you wanted was a short labor. Ha!
My contractions were really strong for the whole 28 hours, and my child decided to have his hand over his face. So that's what made the contractions even stronger, because my body was trying to get him in a position that was perfect for birthing.
He loves, I don't know why, putting his hands on his face.
Yeah, he still does. Every time he feeds, he just puts his little hand
And we have like ultrasound pictures of him like with his hand on his face.
So that was making my labor harder and longer. It took a little while for me to dilate as well, because my body was working to get him in the perfect position. For my whole laboring journey, I'm just walking around my house. I would go from Nash to my mom, Nash to my mom, and they would rub me, hug me, hold me,
Comfort
let me
you.
Scream into their faces.
Yeah, if we were one person short, I don't think it would have happened, which is crazy. It's not like we needed more hands or anything.
Yeah, but I would just release.
But like everyone that was there needed to be there.
Yeah, I would just go into my mom and I would feel like a little kid who just, I'd be like, Mom, help me. I would just try to breathe.
What were you thinking?
I don't remember.
You weren't like, oh shit, it's happening?
At first I was really excited.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, I was like, and it got more painful.
You were like, oh shit.
Then I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Then I would just try to talk to myself like, you can do this. There was one point at like 3 or 4 in the morning where I was like, I really, really can't do this.
That was the vibe. And then it gets dark. And I'm like, okay, he's going to be born at night. And then it gets, 3, 4 in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
And people start to fall asleep sitting up.
Everybody's taking...
I'm still wired.
Yeah.
Everyone wants coffee. My coffee machine wasn't working, so that was tough. But yeah, we have 7 people in the house. I'm expecting to already have baby Malachi out and everyone else out. So yeah, it's been like a solid, 12 hours of labor? Intense labor. In and out of the tub, in and out of the bedroom, in and out of the bathroom, doing all sorts of different exercises and things to get to get him situated perfectly in the birth canal and to, start opening your cervix. And
so it's 3 in the morning and everybody's going to sleep.
Literally everyone's asleep or there's like one of us taking a shift to stay awake. Someone's sleeping on my bed, someone's sleeping on the couch, on the swing bed, on the floor. Everywhere was covered. A small house, 7 people sleeping all over with all their stuff everywhere. And I eventually got so tired I couldn't hold my eyes open. And I wanted to be in the moment, so I had to take a quick nap. Ended up sleeping in the bathtub for like 15 minutes.
I wanted to sleep so bad, but I wanted to just take one nap.
Whenever we felt tired, we were like, oh shit. I wonder how Taylor feels, because she's been working harder than us this whole time and hasn't slept at all. So I took my nap in the bathroom because that's where you were coming in most frequently. You were going to the bathroom like every 10 minutes.
Yeah, my contractions are so bad that I would try to like use the restroom and like, I don't know, apparently some people could open up easier in the bathroom because that's where you're already relaxed, like your body's used to going to the bathroom. So I'm
asleep in the bathtub and every 10 minutes Taylor's coming in and I'm just like, you good?
Yeah, and my mom's like trying to sleep, but of course she can't sleep because she's my mom and she's just laying with me and like, but then I would be laying with her and then I would just run to Nash and I'd go back and forth. And then at one point I have them both come into the bathroom and I'm like, guys, I can't do this.
Yeah, she had really doubted herself for the first time out loud in front of us.
Yeah, in my head.
And my heart stopped. I was like, wait a minute.
For like a whole hour I was just like, okay, like, I don't need to be strong. Nobody's going to judge me if I go to the hospital. I can just take my hospital bag and go to the hospital. It's 8 minutes away. Okay, let's
She started thinking about escape routes. She started thinking about anything other than what she was doing because she was in so much pain and was so tired and had been up for so long that she was just kind of ready to give up.
I just thought he was never... I'm going to cry. I just thought he wasn't going to come and I did not feel strong enough to do this anymore and I didn't know how I was going to get him out and I wanted him out and I wanted him out safely and I was like, maybe I'm not strong enough for this.
So me, you, and your mom all sat in the bathroom and got that news from her where like, for the first, you could see it in her eyes like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what I've gotten myself into, but I don't think I can do this.
They were like, no, they were like...
but we were literally like, hell no. Like, no, this is what you wanted.
You guys were like, been doing it,
Yeah.
you can do it. It's
we were
okay.
what, 16 hours in, something like that.
I don't know.
We were very
Days,
deep in it,
years.
so I was like, "Well,
A
Taylor."
whole Animal Planet show.
We had Planet Earth playing in the background for the entire stuff.
You
Did that help?
You walk in the living room, see some
Crazy
polar
shit.
bears
Yeah.
walking by.
Did that help at all?
I don't know. It was like a nice background. I
You weren't
guess.
even here.
Yeah.
We basically just give her all the positive energy we can, tell her she can do it, tell her she's been doing it, and we had prepared for countless hours for this. I knew how close we were, I knew how much you had already been through trying to get it done here. You know, I knew you had it in you, and I knew how strong you were, and I don't think you knew yourself, like, how strong you were. So.
I really didn't. Each hour I was like,
Okay.
afterwards I was like, damn, I'm a bad bitch.
So you have to be 10 centimeters to start pushing, and we were stuck at 7 for hours. on
Yeah,
end.
and that's another thing that discouraged me because I was like, why am I not dilating? What's going on? And it's because my big child was not in the right position. So
You're a huge, you're a 10-pound, 4-ounce child. I mean, I was 9 pounds, 8 ounces, so I kind of knew, okay, we're going to have a big baby, but you literally gave birth to a 10-pound, 4-ounce baby completely naturally. Absolutely nuts. Like, I can never give you enough credit for that, ever. But yeah, we basically woke up in the morning and started all over again. Not all over again, I mean, you had made a lot of progress, but it certainly felt like, all right, day 2, let's get started, and holy that was a long day, because we literally started at sunrise, like right at 4 in the morning, and went all day. Absolutely all day. 12 hours later, we started serious, legit pushing.
I thought I was pushing I didn't know how to push yet
Yeah.
because I've never pushed before.
Never pushed before, yeah.
And so I was just exerting a lot of energy.
We were basically taught how to breathe and,
Yeah.
and how to breathe him down and stuff, but at a certain point, and we didn't even call it pushing in hypnobirthing because it was supposed to be such a euphoric experience. Our hypnobirthing class made it seem like that shit was going to be way easier than it actually was.
Stop, we can't let them see this.
No, it's just like, it seemed like it would be a breeze compared to what it was. So, yeah, 1 full night of basically no sleep for everyone in the house.
And then
we're up at 4 in the morning going again.
And then I get into the birthing tub and I think that I want to push, and so I try to push. I'm trying. I have my mother and Nash's mother telling me they see his head, which they do not see.
They thought they saw him crowning, but yeah, all night people are like, I think I see him, and like starting to see things, and like everyone was telling her, he's coming, and she had a long ways to go. So I can only imagine how that made you feel. Discouraging. There you go. Yeah, it was probably very discouraging to realize, oh, he's nowhere near ready. Everyone's just gassing me up because they're so ready that they're seeing things.
Yeah, so...
And everyone's delusionally tired, so that definitely did not help anything. But being the person at a birth who's not giving birth, you want to not overstep your boundaries. You want to not say anything that you might, despise. You want to give encouragement and help, you as much as possible, but there's a very fine line in doing that. And yeah, there's some times when I'm sure you were like, get this washcloth off my head, or I don't need this water, or get in this position, or no, I don't like that.
And then so I was using so much energy, I threw up, and I was like, is this the first thing I asked?
Is this normal? Like scared as hell, and everyone's like, yeah, you're fine.
It was just water, because that's all I was drinking, coconut water.
That's all you had in 30 hours up to that point was liquid.
Yeah.
I really had some doubts, just like you did, but I couldn't show that, so we just kept chugging along and kept doing what everyone else said to do, and it eventually got to a point where I got in the birth tub, and I think we had our best session of pushes.
No, I have to tell another part. After a while, my midwife's assistant was like, listen, you are just wasting a lot of energy basically, and you should just take a break and then come back when you really, really need to push.
Well, she described it as like an overwhelming sense to poop.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel that, follow it, push into the pain, and go with it. And it took us a while, like you said, you had to learn how to push. So.
Yeah, and I was just practicing how to push, but I came back to my bed, things started to speed up, and that's when my water broke. My midwife's assistant was checking me, and then it broke on her. So sorry about that. They were like, okay, now since your water broke.
Now let's really get going.
So then we started doing exercises to make sure he was in the right position.
Squats.
So we're doing lunges, squats, and like putting my leg over
Hip
one
twisters,
way.
all very painful shit.
It
right?
was so painful because my body was putting him in the right position, and that was really something extreme.
And the entire time I am just reading everyone's emotions and eyes, trying to figure out, and when I say everyone, I mean mainly the doula and the midwife. I'm reading them and the assistant, trying to feel their energy. Are they worried? No. Do they think something's happening? No. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just every 10 seconds, my eyes would go from Taylor to them, to Taylor to them, nonstop. That happened all day.
After my water broke and after we started doing those positions, that's when shit got real. And we got in the birthing tub and Nash is in there, and the first time I was in the birthing tub,
You just needed a hug first, bro. I literally went in there to help her push and she just turns over and gives me a hug. I was like, okay, this is great, it feels good, but
the first time I got in the birthing tub, it was relief. The second time, God bless America.
As she's pushing, I'm pushing her and like kind of massaging down her back, just trying to give her the sensation of pushing down. And we were doing J breathing, which is breathing in and then out of your. So yeah, she was breathing and pushing and breathing and pushing. We did that for 2 hours where, you know, each time she would push, I would really like dig into her back and kind of try to do. I don't know what I was doing. I've never done this before, so I was just trying to help.
They were saying that he was making progress, but it would probably give us more leverage outside of the tub. So we were like, peace tub.
You think about it, and obviously water makes you lighter, so that seems like the most comfortable place to be, but you just gotta follow your body. And sometimes she would be in positions, I'm like, are you sure you want to be on the floor right here in the doorway? That's the best spot for you. And whatever it is she's doing and feeling, that's what she should be doing and feeling. So we let her do that, and yeah, we collectively kind of made the decision, like, this is not gonna happen in the tub. We can use the tub to our advantage to work him down, but he's not coming out in this tub. Once we knew that, you know, you plan months in advance, and I had lived that moment in my head so many times. And we'd seen so many water births that I was, you know, not worried, but I was like, oh, there goes that.
So we go onto the floor. It's my doula behind me.
And at this point, we've been pushing for how long?
About 2.5 hours.
About 2.5 hours. And you can only push for 4 hours.
Yeah, at home.
At home. You can only push for 4 hours at home.
Which I didn't know.
Legally, yeah. We figured that out during the pushing. Which is also a big red flag for us. Like, something I wish we had known beforehand.
The photographer standing on the couch. Nash on one leg. My mom on one leg.
Your mom had the easier leg, let me just say. Your left leg was not cooperating at all. And what they say, 3 pushes, it'd be 2 pushes forward, 1 back. Is basically how it happened. So you push and then, you know, a little bit back. Push and then a little bit back. You would push, and then that pain would come, and they kept telling you go into it, but you would fight to close your legs and get him back in, which made me think, oh, maybe he's not ready. So
he was ready.
He was ready.
I wasn't ready.
She wasn't ready. And then once I knew that, I was like, all right, I really gotta buckle
Nash
down.
ripped my leg open.
Gotta buckle down and help her.
You have to hold your breath when you push. So I would be pushing, and then all of a sudden I wanted to give up, and then once I wanted to give up, that's when the extreme, I could feel him coming down more, but then it was so painful that I wanted to like go back and take a break, but you're supposed to push it with it, so I had to learn how to push into the pain. The way that my pelvic bone is set up, I couldn't really get him down easy because I had to get him under it, and so it was even more painful, so I had to push harder. And
we'll push 4 or 5 times and then say one more, and she's like literally like using so much energy. I'm getting tired looking at her and holding her leg, like I'm about to pass out just holding one leg. I was so concerned at this point because she's using so much energy. But yeah, we're doing these pushes, everyone's helping.
It's taking a really long time. And then
we're about 3.5 hours in, as a matter of fact.
They're checking his heart, and
I'm reading their faces,
and they were like, they looked at me and they're like, Taylor,
he's been in that birth canal, like the area of a birth canal where everything's kind of tighter and more constricted for a very long time. You
have 30 minutes to get this baby out.
Is basically what they said.
And I was like, oh hell.
All of us were like, well,
The energy in the room just went like a
we went from like kind of relaxed, taking everything with a grain of salt, you know, to, well, shit, let's get going.
And
And did we get going?
Nash's mom, Elizabeth, she pushed my doula out of the way. She got behind my back. My mom was holding one leg.
She turned you into a C, bro. Like your spine is like this.
Is one way, and Nash's mom is crunching me over.
Which helps, because you're supposed to conform around him. We still are dealing with neck pain and back pain. Don't even ask her about it.
I was told, you need to get this baby out.
She got a second wind of confidence.
This baby out. I didn't care if I was going to die from not breathing from pushing so hard, but I was pushing as hard as I could.
I've never seen anyone work so hard in my entire life.
Yes, that breath. Go on. And I was going in with it.
Sometimes it'd be about a minute or two, but we had pushed for 3.5 hours. That it got to a point where she started feeling the need to push more. So the time in between those pushes got shorter and shorter.
And then it got to a point where they could see like this much of his head, and Nash's mom she started crying. She said, "He is beautiful."
Hardest part still to go.
When she could see the acorn part of his head.
And I had been to one birth before my mother's, but I hadn't watched the whole thing by any means. Just the part where, the birth itself. And yeah, I saw that little crown of his head, and I thought he was gonna be this big because it was like a circle. Like they come out with cone heads. They try to fit out of the vagine as easy as possible. And yeah, I saw the top of that head, and I was like, wow, that's a lot smaller than I envisioned. This might be a lot easier. 35 pushes later, the head just keeps growing.
It stops.
It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It never stopped growing. So I'm thinking, am I ever going to see a chin? Am I ever going to get a neck? And she had been working so hard for God knows how long.
Then he just started coming, and it was his head.
And we're like, oh, okay, here we go. One more push. Okay, one more push. And it was 15 more pushes, and his shoulders were out. And once his shoulders were out,
but then I got to feel him.
Yeah, she did reach down and touch him, and that motivated her a little more. Put her back on earth. Took the eyes out of the back of your head, all those things. We're at the point where his head and shoulders are out, and she still has to push. Usually they just kind of slide right out, and we've got people there ready to catch him and pull him and put him right on the chest. His torso was so damn long and thick that it took another 4 or 5 pushes just to get the rest of them out. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. From thinking, oh, he's gonna be this teeny little baby, and just seeing that head grow nonstop, then just seeing the rest of his body just keep going. Like, you opened up just enough, just at the right amount of time to perfectly slide him out, and that's exactly what she did. He came out with shoes and a book bag on. He was huge.
And his eyes were wide open. I'm gonna cry thinking about it, and I fell in love.
They were doing skin to skin. They didn't move for 2 hours after the birth. Cord still attached. They were just vibing, just chilling. I was like, all right, I need to get some food into this one. So I ordered you food, ordered you smoothies, just got a bunch of food delivered. But yeah, she had a popsicle first.
Right when I gave birth, I was like, what do you want to eat?
Yeah, no, literally, that was my first thing was, all right, let's get him on the boob and let's get her some food.
Everybody's like, it's a love that you've never felt before. Your life changes, all these things. And I was like, I was always so scared, like, am I really going to feel these ways? And things like that. But when I saw him, my whole world was just turned upside down.
You had lost so much blood.
Oh yeah,
20 pounds in like, a couple minutes.
I did start losing blood, and thank God my midwife is knowledgeable, and she gave me Pitocin, and it slowed down my bleeding.
After he was out.
Yeah, I didn't hemorrhage or anything.
We started to weigh him, check his heartbeat, measure him.
We checked him and everything.
Cut his umbilical
cord, and everything was perfect. And then I went to pee. Most painful thing ever, peeing for the first time.
Going to pee, yeah.
And everything was fine. My midwife's like, okay, how are you? Making sure I was fine, because it is common, I guess, to faint afterwards. And on the way back to my bed to go rest, good night.
Literally passed out.
And it felt good when I woke up. I was like, yeah, what a nice nap. And Nash was freaking out. He's like, Mom, get her water, like all this stuff. And I'm like, Nash, it's fine. Like, me in a daze. Like, Nash, I'm fine. And Nash is like, no, it's not.
20 pounds lighter, blood everywhere, all over my entire house, and she passes out. It was scary, to say the least. And yeah, we just got a lot of fluid in you, and
my blood pressure went back up to normal, and I was fine. I just went through so much.
None of his, 1 to 2 month clothes fit. None of the diapers up to 10 pounds fit. Nothing. Like, we wasted so much money. Those first few hours with him were so magical.
Breastfeeding was a really hard journey at first. I commend all mothers who do, and all mothers who can't, and all mothers who choose not to. I commend you responsibility too for feeding your child the way that they need to be fed.
One of the benefits of having a home birth was we didn't leave the house for the first 7 days. Like, we gave birth and stayed home for 7 days. We had groceries, we had stocked up, we had prepared.
We had to go on Monday. We gave birth on Tuesday, so it was like 6 days.
6 days, yeah. So we basically didn't leave the house. We didn't leave the house for 6 days, which was freaking awesome.
At first, I was like, after I gave birth, I was like, I'm never doing that again. That was the most painful thing ever. I'm so glad I did it. I'm so proud of myself, but I'm never giving birth again. And then 2 days later, I'm like, I need 10 kids.
So, home birthing, definitely 10 out of 10 would recommend if you're up to it. I can't think of anything that triumphs that experience. That is the craziest thing you can do as a human being. Nothing tops that. So, huge props to you, Taylor, because, yeah, like I said, you're a superhero.
So even though it might have seemed like it was a scary, painful experience, which it was there was pain involved, it is the most empowering thing I've ever done, and I would do it again, and I'm so glad that I could give birth at home. And why are you smiling?
Because it just makes me smile.
I just wish every mother a safe, beautiful birthing journey, and thanks for watching.